All right, today on the Practical Wealth Show, we're going to talk about what I call playing defense. Okay, and in the second principle of um, the second principle of principle-based planning is maximum protection. So I recently had a health scare. So this is I shared this with our study group call with our client group, and I figured I would share because some testimonials came out after I shared my scare that other people had a health scare. So and I shared this with them. So I figured I would share it with all of you. Hopefully, we will wake up and pay attention to your health. So I had a stroke, believe it or not, 2 weeks ago, and didn't know I had it. I had a tingling on my right side, and like the day before, I ended up 3 appointments, did a webinar that night, still felt woke up the next morning not feeling well. I was like, this may be worse. Went to a doctor. Doctor said, you need to go to emergency, get to emergency, CAT scan. Mr. Maybe had a stroke. What? And so I was, my couldn't leg was weak, but I have no droopiness. So I put the camera up. I still look good. For those of you who are on the video. And so basically I was very lucky. It was a warning shot across the bow. So here is the personal service announcement. Watch your blood sugar, not blood sugar. Well, that too, but your blood pressure. I was taking meds, was ran off of it, didn't pay attention to it. Listen, guys, I work out 4 to 5 days a week. So I'm like, I work out, I take supplements. And so you need to take this stuff seriously. Almost cursed. And so that made me pull up so what you're seeing here is my personal financial snapshot. So not mine, but I pulled up my one like this because I do one for our family. And okay, how are we doing? And so I decided, I made this, I did a talk around this for our group. So I just kind of want to walk you through maximum protection. So, playing defense, like one of the things I always say is your financial plan precedes your business plan. And so all of a sudden this stuff got real. Now, fortunately, I'm gonna make, doctor said, I'm feeling better now. It's been a week. The only thing I wanted to know was, listen, I got this mastermind in paradise coming up. This is a Friday. They let me out. I was in Wednesday and let me out Friday afternoon. I said, well, can I go to Cancun Tuesday? That's all I wanted to know. And if I can recover down there at the beach as easy as I can down here. So we did that, had a great time. And actually it got better. It was so much walking. It actually, you know, um, made my leg feel better. So that was, and I got strong. I didn't have that much weakness. I was pretty strong. So they said, you're lucky, but you need to pay attention to your numbers and do what the doctor says. So I was all right. As a saying, a hard head makes a soft behind. So anyway, so now I want to talk about you. Okay. So I want you to look at this stuff because, you know, one of the things that you want to see is, when we talk about maximum protection is this, right? So what I'm going to talk about is defense, right? So you want to make sure as you look at your personal economy, everybody's so focused with the investment tank, right? And what we teach is I want you to save, I want you to protect. So if I do it in order, it's 1, save, 2, protect, and 3, invest. So this is and then when you're invest, I'm talking about building cash flow, but I want to talk about principle 2. So there's a couple of things in principle I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, and one of the things that we help people with, but I think that nobody really discussed it. Less than 20% of people have disability insurance. Okay. And so what if you could see let's say right now you're healthy and working. All right. So you're working. So your number one asset is your ability to earn income, right? And so you're going to generate a substantial income over your working lifetime, and you'll earn income, you'll pay taxes, right? You'll save for retirement emergencies. So if you're listening to this, I want you to find the YouTube because I'm actually showing something as I go through this, right? So you're paying yourself first, you're trying to save some money, and the rest of your money basically goes towards living expenses. So I call your lifestyle. But what happens if you become disabled and you lose your ability to work? Income either reduces or stops altogether. Your expenses increase because now you're infirmed, right? Most people don't die, they get sick and die, or get sick and live infirm. So now your income is lower. You could have medical expenses, equipment, doctors, specialists, ramps, that type of stuff. And so you can't have a plan that only works when the sun is shining, right? What if you have a bad day? And so you basically exhaust your savings, your investments, to support your lifestyle, right? And then you start borrowing if you can, because like people say, I want to pay my house off. Well, if you can't work and you could have a $500,000 house with no mortgage, you can't access that money, because if your income is dropped, they don't loan you money because they want you to pay it back, and now you've lost your ability to earn income, so you can't get that money out. So you have to start to think about this stuff, right? And so your income is your most valuable asset. And so what the income does is you're insuring your income, right? And so disability insurance restores your cash flow, right? So you can keep it moving. And it can reduce your financial stress because you can you're ensuring your ability to have income coming in so that you can keep your lifestyle and your household going. You still may be able to fund your savings. A lot of times on the life insurance component, we generally always put, if they let you don't qualify, waiver of premium. So if you create your private bank or your private reserve, it's self-completing and your savings continue to get funded. Okay. And it helps you maintain your dignity and your standard of living, more importantly. And so what I want you to consider is the difference between individual government employee sponsor plans, right? You have to look at that. So here are the key questions. What's the total amount? Like, you can get generally up to 60% of your income. If you pay for it after tax, then that money becomes tax free. If your employer pays it tax before tax and you get it deducted, then the money that you get from the benefit is taxable. What you want to know is, when does it start? Is it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? You want to know how long it lasts? What's the length of the payout? I also teach our clients to know, what is the definition of disability? Do you want a broad definition? Let's go back. Or do or a narrow definition? So if you can't do what you do, you're disabled. See, if they say, well, I know you're hurt, but you could work at Wawa. But you can't replace your $75,000 a year income working at Wawa. So therefore you're disabled. But there's some, especially if just all you have is a group plan, you really have to read that to make sure you're paying for something and making sure it does what you want to do. So you really need to know the definition of disability, how long, and you don't want to find this out. So you have to look at all this stuff. So when we look at maximum protection, you have to look at all of this stuff before you need it. Okay. So now here's another thing that flashed through my mind. Okay. Is, we're looking at your, working hard your lifetime. You work hard at increasing your circle of wealth, your pool of money for your overall estate. Okay. Now, this is not giving legal advice, but you want to look this up. We actually have a mechanism, a legal service plan that can actually help get a lot of this stuff done for you for a fraction of what it costs. If you would just go get it separately, like under $1 a day. And so just, you can send me an email to kurtmay@gmail.com and I'll send you some information on it. But one of the largest wealth transfers could take place at your death. Okay. And, there's inheritance taxes, there's state taxes. Some states have both. So what I'm doing is I'm showing a map of the states that have estate taxes. Okay. So in addition to federal and state estate taxes, there are other potential wealth transfers upon a breadwinner or a person passing away. There's the debts. The debts don't They don't die when you die, right? Your state has to settle that stuff. So your executor has to pay the bills. Do you have a will? Legal and administrative fees. Do you have a trust, right? There's probate, there's contestability, especially if you die intestate. There's income taxes. They tax you coming and going. So it's your choice. Here's your choice that you have. You got to decide. I can do nothing, which is unfortunate. A lot of people choose that one by default. And you let the state court system select the allocation, the timing, and the disposition of your assets. So if you don't have an estate plan, the state has one for you, and unfortunately, your loved ones may not get what you desire. You can let others rush the liquidation strategies of your assets. So what if the real estate market's down, but your heirs need the money and they got to sell the house for 50 cents on a dollar or something like that? You have to be able. That's why when you have life insurance as part of this, it gives your estate liquidity to deal with stuff. You might have to sell shares while they're down, okay? Because you have no liquidity. Then you let the federal and state codes select the method, timing, and the amount of your payment. So none of that. All that is a result of doing nothing, okay? Or you can make wise choices for yourself as part of your federal estate plan now. So here's some famous estate plans. So Elvis Presley, gross estate, $10 million, settlement cost, $7.3 million. He netted, or the estate netted, 2.79, so almost $2.8 million. So they lost 73% of his wealth. William Boeing, $22 million gross estate, settlement cost $10 million, $11 million, and 47% shrinkage. Marilyn Monroe, $819,000. I have to do that in today's dollars. Settlement cost $448,000. She lost the estate lost 55% of its value. Don't know what it settled for. Prince was died intestate. T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman died intestate, and Prince, let's say Prince, James Brown, and so fighting over that stuff. Fortunately, they had assets, the records, the estates, and that's a shame, guys. So we have to work on this, and I just wanted to bring this up because it just hit me. So it's 3 ways to pass on your estates: the government way, which means you have nothing in place; the I wish way, a will; or the mind your own business way, a living trust. And so you consult estate planning attorney for that. So having the proper estate planning documents in place is only the first step. You need to be your accounts need to be properly titled, and you got to make sure you have the primary correct beneficiary designation. Sometime, let's say you have your second wife or husband, and you been at your job a long time and you never changed the beneficiary. So your first wife gets all the stuff, and your second wife and your step kids or your kids are cut out because you didn't know to change your beneficiaries. Because nobody's going to tell you that, folks. You got to know this. So I just want to give you a wake-up call. And because you want to deal with this stuff while you're lucid. And which estates to leave behind. See, so there's 3 types. There's tax-free, which assets that you can leave behind. So there's life insurance, that's the Roth IRA. There's capital assets, real estate, individual stocks and bonds. And there's taxable, brokerage accounts, mutual funds, checking, money market accounts, CDs, right? Those are all taxable accounts. And there's tax deferred, annuities, traditional retirement plans. And so what you want to be able to do is you want to really, as I'm putting this, you want to go 8 back to 1. So you want to do your tax deferred, taxable, and save your tax-free stuff for last. And so one of the reasons we love life insurance here at Practical Wealth is that insurance, it gives you permission to spend your other assets, so that if you have to begin to liquidate, and then should one of the partners pass away, you get a tax-free fill up of the money bucket. So guys, that's, there's other areas I've gone over with maximum protection. But these 2 just because of what just happened to me, um, was on my mind. Okay, and I just wanted to share it with you. Um, Not wishing you bad. I want you to, or anything bad. I just wanted you to think about it. I just, you have experience. I've shared it with people like, what? You're the picture of health. Yeah. And it happened to me. So what can you do? So, you got to make sure you got your stuff together. I just wanted to have this personal service announcement, and guys, go out there and make it a great day. If this stuff intrigues you, we can have these conversations at Practical Wealth. So in the link, there's a link. Go to practicalwealthsolutions.net, and you can schedule a call. You can email us at kurtmay@gmail.com, and I'll send you some information about how to, get your wills done. And we can, I have a report. I can't remember what it is right now as I record this, but I'll send you something. All right. Take care. Have a great day, everybody.